Welcome to the week. The news this week is not about waking up to cheers and blaring vuvuzelas by watching the World Cup on television 2 o'clock in the morning, China time. Yet, even at the 2010 World Expo underway in Shanghai, crowds lined up to watch the game at the South Africa Pavilion. China wasn't at the World Cup, but students at Yunbian University set a Guinness World Record when 1,062 students juggled soccer balls for 10 seconds. Back in Shanghai, World Expo fans lined up for special stamps to honor the real hero of the World Cup, Paul the Octopus. In China, online sellers doubled or tripled their sales by adding Paul to their lines of toys and snacks. Some fans even got octopus tattoos. But for fans of the losing teams, they were on the lookout for octopus recipes. So now that the World Cup is over, what will football fans do? Well, the American season of football begins next month. But when it comes to the kind of football played in the World Cup versus the American football played on primetime television each fall, primetime comedian John Cleese, an Englishman, is not on the side of the Yanks. Here's his argument against football versus football in a video making the rounds on the internet this week.
The wonderful thing about football is how creative it is. And this is why it has never caught on in America. You see, in America, the action is deliberately kept short so that the sponsors can get in as many commercials as possible. And also so that the players don't have to think for too long. They get instructions from the quarterback, who has, in turn, received them from the offensive coach. So you get 4 seconds of extremely violent action, and then the only genuinely creative activity involved, a beer commercial. Why do the Americans insist on calling it soccer? Why do they have such a problem calling it football? It's a game played with a ball that is struck with the foot. Hence, football. You see? Are you following this, America? The clue is in the title. It's not that difficult. Whereas American football, as they call it, is a game where an object that's not really a ball at all, it's the wrong shape for a ball, is carried around by hand and occasionally thrown for other people to catch in their hands. You see? Only one person in each team is allowed to actually kick the ball, and they have to be specially brought onto the field to do it.
So what does John Cleese have against beer commercials? In the U.S., they used to call them Bette Davies eyes, after the late American actress. But in Beijing, China Daily reports this week that some young women may be risking their eyesight to make their eyes look bigger and brighter like Betty's by wearing oversized contact lenses. It's the latest fad to make you look like you have bigger, whiter irises. But optometrists are warning that this fad can lead to infections and even blindness. Here's a healthier alternative brought to you by Chinese students who didn't want to get caught napping in class. For 9 pair for 5 yuan, you can just wear eyelid stickers for those Bette Davis eyes. All eyes are wide open at the 2010 Expo underway in Shanghai. There's so much to do and so much to see, who could shut their eyes? The thing about world events like the Expo is, how is anybody going to know that you actually went unless you bring back something crazy like a souvenir? Look at him. He's so awesome. There's Haibao on everything at the official souvenir store. We got hats. We got backpacks. We've got t-shirts. And for Shanghai's weather or cold, we have the official 2010 Expo umbrella. But my favorite is first came Monopoly, and now it's Exopoly. What a cool Christmas present. Well, these are nice, but they're a little pricey for my budget. I think I'm going to stick to the toys. Okay, now these are in my price range. They're a bunch of cool pens and pencils, and they got Haibao. What do you think? Like them? For the week, I'm Renee Haynes.